Alrighty, welcome back to the Paws Up Podcast, episode 52. I am here with Jake Gibson. Jonathan Mayer is stuck at AT&T. Maybe he'll be here, maybe he won't. We'll see. But we have a very special guest. The first time we've had a special guest 3 times. That is Mr. Billy Gill. Billy, what's up?
Twice,
And
Kevin.
we're excited to have. Oh, twice? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
well, my bad.
Sorry.
Well,
I can
anyway.
come on next episode if you want to do
Yeah,
the third.
Yeah, then we can
Now,
make some
now,
history
now we have a
there.
mission. Now we have a goal.
Well, let me run that by my wife. I shouldn't just blindly commit to that.
Oh.
She's kind of the boss. Yeah.
Anyways, what's up, Billy?
Nothing. How are you guys? I've missed you.
No, it's been a hot minute. Almost a full year ago, we had Billy last on the show. Episode 13, back on March 8th, 2023. That was, again, 13, and now it's episode 52.
Had we brought him on next episode, it would have been what?
It's pretty much an anniversary of the last episode, especially considering leap year.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So goodness, it's been a hot minute since we've had the pleasure of having the great Billy Gill. The first.
What have you guys been up to?
A lot.
How's your life changed? Kevin's an FIU student now, which he wasn't last year.
Yeah.
I was not. Jake, what are you?
I got a full season of Florida Panthers hockey coverage under my belt for Lone City, which was awesome. And it's just been work getting the podcast to grow. Like I said, we recently hit our 50th episode. We can now say we're the official fan podcast of FIU athletics, which is super sick. And we have some more announcements coming soon. Big one in April and a big one in let's say a few days. We've been cooking quite a bit.
Let's do that one now. Why wait a few days? Why keep the people waiting? What is it? You don't have to say it.
Can't exactly say it, but let's just say there's going to be a new home for Paws Up podcasts.
Oh,
like episodes, a new way to listen to them. Basically,
okay.
We'll just say that. So, but
the April announcement.
Whole year, my God.
What's the April announcement? Is that one? That one was a big one. You said
we're joining a.
Well, don't say it. We're live.
Yeah. No. Again, spoiler free, but we're joining a group of other college podcasts around the country.
That's different than the one 2 days from now. There's 2 announcements. Oh, okay. I'm excited. Let me write this down.
You got to listen. 2023 was amazing for us, but 2024, we're going to be cooking up something great.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Anyways, we're going to talk about FIU baseball. They're off to a great start, 8-5 on the year. They're going up against Boca in a bit. We're talking about the Lebertard Show, Super Bowl, and we got to prep Billy for when he gets on the call with Kyle Seeloff real soon. Here with Marlins baseball. But Billy, I know I don't know how much you've watched, but how much FIU baseball have you watched? And so I guess your general sparse thoughts.
Thank you for asking. I watched a little bit of the game the other day. It was like on ESPN Plus, I think. I didn't realize that FIU baseball also has Biscayne blue uniforms, which I thought was pretty cool. And the hat had like
FIU has it now.
The hat had like 4 colors on it.
That's
I think,
the first time they've actually used that hat. So
is it?
Yeah, and then the Biscayne blues have been there for way too long.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Well, and I saw that they struck out 4.
Are brand new. The ones in football are brand new. Biscayne blues in football. Those are the new ones.
I saw they struck out 14 Bethune-Cookman batters yesterday as well. Correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the extent of my knowledge.
That's fine.
You're pretty much dialed in. I mean, their pitching performance against the Wildcats was probably the best overall performance we've seen of FIU's rotation and their bullpen.
You look at the last 3 games, they've really stepped it up. Pinheiro on Sunday and Monday with Cam Knox, and then yesterday with Evan Alwine making his first collegiate start. So a lot to like, and I think we could go into the next question. Just like, I guess, well, to your extent, who stood out to you
in the game?
Yeah, I mean, any players?
Who did you just say?
You could talk about Ryan. You could talk about Ryan Guida.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he had an RBI yesterday.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
He had an RBI, 2 hits. Can't complain. So
I have to tell you something. I'm not doing myself any favors because I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but whatever. I'll tell you guys. It doesn't matter. Okay. So I was talking. Do you know Jeremy Taché? I was talking to Jeremy Taché. Are you familiar with him? He does Heat games and He does some Marlins stuff for Bally's. And he was telling me that he may do some FIU baseball, like play-by-play. Like he was asked if he could do a couple games. And then no one asked him this, but he's like, if you want, I could see if they want you to do it too. And I was like, yeah, sure, I guess. Like, let me know. I'm down to do whatever. So no one actually ever asked me. They asked Jeremy to do it, and then Jeremy volunteered to put my name, like toss my name into the ring. But I'm not doing myself any favors when you ask me who stood out so far, and I just said, "Can you repeat the name of the person that you just said?" I told you that I was going to cram before, and you guys don't have children yet, correct? So I'm still like have 2 young children, and I intended to do all of my prep before this, and then naturally this is the day that they're up late, and we were doing a bath until 8:20, and we started at 8:30. So the cramming did not happen, unfortunately.
It's okay. All right. There was no expiration date. You know, it's you still got plenty of time to dig in because the season's just begun. You know,
that's what I'm thinking. What do we think? Omaha this year?
Maybe regionals. I'll say regionals.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not all the way to Omaha?
I mean, if the Canes couldn't get to Omaha last year and they had a stellar team last year, then who knows, man? Who knows? But all right, so let's talk a bit about, because spoiler alert, this is going to be a baseball-oriented episode, right? We're on the mood for some baseball. You know, Marlins right around the corner. FIU is in full swing. What do you remember the most when you were a student about FIU baseball and some of your favorite memories back then?
I think I went to more FIU softball games than baseball games, to be honest with you, because we went and we had they have a nice softball stadium out there. I like both stadiums. I think it's a cool environment. I actually, when I was a kid, and I don't know, I feel like I can't get in trouble for this now, but when I was a kid, we went and like at FIU, when you catch, do you still have to give foul balls back when you catch the foul balls?
Not anymore.
Really? You get to keep them? When I was a child, they went looking around and they asked for the balls back.
Yeah, no. Now if it leaves the stadium, they go and pick it up. So
okay, but if it goes into the crowd, they don't like go and ask.
Yeah, no, because now it's like, I mean, the way the stadium looks, it's like least likely to go into the crowd with the amount of netting they've added. So if it does go, I don't think they're gonna. Now I do have a story, and the other day, not too long ago, there was a women's basketball game, and they gave the fans the boomsticks to do the sound. Mm-hmm. And Western Kentucky, the team they were facing, complained about the band first, so they had to shut off like part of the band, and then they complained about the boomsticks, and they had to pick up all the boomsticks. So, Jake has.
You're referring to these?
Yeah, those. They had to pick that all up because Western Kentucky was
There's some boomstick ASMR.
Western Kentucky was just like they didn't like the noise or something.
What was the complaint? It was too loud?
Yeah, it was like interrupting the environment or something.
It's a sports game.
Exactly.
Reminds me of the Vuvuzelas in the World Cup. Remember how mad people got at that? I mean, just get used to it, bro.
They had those with the Marlins too. I think there was a night. I don't know. I wasn't around there, and Billy was. Vuvuzela.
I remember they had that, and they also had a cowbell night where Cody Ross hit a walk-off, I think grand slam. He hit a walk-off home run, and then afterwards there was a Willie Chirino concert. And what ended up happening is because it was a walk-off home run, everyone was excited, and they started throwing their cowbells on the field. And then they had to make all these announcements because there was cowbells raining down on the field. They beat the Reds, I think. And it was like a whole thing. They wanted you to bring your like cowbells back like for the rest of the season. They were so annoying, but they wanted you to bring your cowbells back. And then I think for a little bit they didn't allow them in because everyone was throwing them on the field to celebrate a walk-off home run.
Isn't off topic all of a sudden, but that's okay. Isn't there a similar situation to what's going on with the Phillies and the Dollar Dog Night? They literally had to get rid of it because fans kept throwing the dogs onto the field.
That's
now
wild.
They have like a buy one get one free dog night, and everyone's just mad.
I saw that. That was outrageous. That's a crime. They shouldn't be allowed to get rid of dollar dogs because they throw them on the field. Completely ridiculous.
They sell out the stadium on those nights too, which is a crazy.
Yeah, like the money they make back is totally worth a few dogs being thrown on the field. I would think.
Exactly right. Have you seen their hot dog cannon that they have?
No, I have not.
Philly Fanatic has a hot dog cannon.
Fanatic uses. Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Shoots hot dogs into the stands. It was a whole thing.
It's like a T-shirt can, except it shoots hot dogs instead.
Yeah, one time some lady got hit with a hot dog and sued them. It was a whole thing.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
You saw Jorge Soler got sued not too long ago?
Oh, what did he get sued for?
He threw a ball at a fan, and I guess it hit the fan. So
when he was on the Giants?
No, this is when he was with the Braves. This came out like
Oh.
I don't even know. This came out during the year last year, so I thought you knew. But yeah,
We've just gone off topic like 3 straight instances.
I don't care.
That's why I love these episodes.
You know,
before we go, bro.
Just
anything happens. Anything happens.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't give you much on the questions you were asking me. To be honest with you.
I even forgot what we asked. That's how amazing this is.
It's okay.
I did want to ask because FIU now is playing FAU real soon. Actually, this weekend they're going up.
Yeah,
really weird circumstances. They're going up to FAU, then they're coming back down, and then they're going back up. But either way, what do you remember from those FAU games back as a student? And I guess I don't know how much they played Miami back then, but the times they did.
I feel like the FAU rivalry is a newer one. Like it was, especially in football, obviously, because the football programs are so new. But
the early 2000s.
I never really, I never like thought of FAU as much of a rivalry. I loved playing UM because I hate UM, so I loved any chance that we got to beat UM. Now the wins against UM.
Yeah, but do the thing.
Yeah, man, you don't. There we go.
I feel like you're playing with fire there, Kevin.
A little bit. The horns down.
Yeah.
Listen, people would not have been happy with that, but for our fan base, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. What are your favorite memories of FIU and FAU?
I don't know. It's my first
Good
year
question,
as a
because I don't know.
All right.
Well, Jake, you were a student for a couple of years.
All 4 years they lost to FAU in football. What can I say? The best memory I had was when they came up like 1 point short against FAU last year. You know, the same FAU team that went to the Final Four in basketball.
Oh yeah, that was
basketball. They came up like a point short in overtime or something. So that's my best memory of FAU.
When FAU was going on that run, were you guys rooting for or against FAU?
I was not rooting for FAU.
I mean,
really,
you kind of root for it in terms of like it's a good story. You know, this G5 school makes it all the way to the Final Four and then possibly plays Miami. But you know, at that point,
you want to know why that is? They want to know why I was so happy I didn't. I went to a couple conventions not long after, and I told people that I was from FIU, and they said, "Oh, you're the team that made it to the Final Four, right?"
Yeah.
And that happened like maybe 2 or 3 times, and I just got so mad to the point where I was
like, "Oh, this is the interesting thing too. This is the interesting thing too. You kind of wanted to root for FAU because the money they made." They were leaving the
back to Conference USA. So it goes funny because they immediately left Conference USA.
Exactly. So that money goes to like, you know, all the other teams. And FIU got thanks to FIU got some money.
Call this controversial, but I actually did kind of root for the University of Miami, though. I was actually rooting for the Canes. Look, the big reason being that my dad was rooting for the Canes. So you know what?
Even worse.
You're controversial.
Maybe so, but this year, I'm going to be rooting for Morehead State in basketball because that's my dad's alma mater.
Well, why was he rooting for UM then?
Because I don't know, he's been a Canes fan his whole life.
I don't like that, Jake.
It's okay. It's okay. We all have our blunders. We all have things we're not proud of.
You're not proud of your dad, it seems.
No, I am.
Oh.
This is getting off the rails again.
Sorry. Who do you consider FIU's chief rival? Is it FAU?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Bethune's not too far either, but
I guess it depends on the sport. For football, I don't even know if we have a rival in football right now, except maybe ourselves. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe we play teams like Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee a lot, so maybe one of those two. But
yeah, they're in the conference.
Yeah. Well, FAU leaving the conference is that ends that rivalry for you guys. Is the Sheila Bowl dead? No, right?
No, they're doing it every year.
They're doing it this year in a non-conference matchup.
Okay.
They're going up to Boca this time because FIU lost. What was it, 52-7 last year?
Don't really want to talk about that, Kevin.
Yeah,
actually, I guess we're going to have to talk about it once we get closer to that game.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but yeah, they're going to take them on.
Why are you sounding so defeated? This season hasn't started yet.
Listen, I whenever we talk about FAU and football, I just think of all the bad memories, those watch parties at GC that I went to, like in front of like the cage, the cage that they call it at GC, like where that big screen TV is, and they show the game. Yeah. Like they did that for that one game in Boca Raton, which they lost by like 50 points, and everyone was just so defeated. Thank God nobody recorded that. and like sent it to someone at FAU.
FIU right now still doesn't have a starting quarterback, so I'm interested to see how that team's gonna look. I thought
this is gonna be one of the few times where FAU has a more well-built roster than FAU, though. So
wait, FIU has a more built roster.
Yeah, that's what I meant. FIU has a more well-built roster than FAU, but we'll save that for the Paws Up preview down the line. That's going to be some heat because we are going to be at Boca. Are you going to go to Boca for that, Billy? Could be.
What
fun.
day is it?
Ugh, you're gonna have to look. Go for it.
Are you inviting me?
I mean, if nothing's stopping you, I mean, let me pull up the schedule real quick. Kevin, are you pulling up the schedule?
No, I'm not. I saw you were.
I'm looking too. Don't worry.
September 14th.
September
It's a Saturday.
14th.
No time yet, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be a night game. In Boca.
Let's put that down as a maybe.
Okay, that's fine. I mean,
aside from
that, do you want to make it to some other like home games?
Actually, I want to go back to Jeremy Taché. I heard he was going to call an FIU football game this year, and that just never happened. I heard he was going to he was going to travel for the Arkansas game, and he never did that one.
Huh.
I heard from someone, but not from him. Not from
you
Jeremy.
Got sources, huh, Kevin?
From AJ.
I don't have a ton of information on that. I feel like if I'm invited back, I might do more games this year if I'm invited back. Because my invitation was like very vague, and it was like, you can do as many games as you want or as few games as you want. Mm-hmm. And then by the time I got back to AJ, he was in Mexico. By the time I got back to him, he's like, there's 2 games left. Would you like to do 2? And I was like, sure. So I did those 2.
Nice.
So we'll see. I have fun doing them, though. It's great. I don't know how many people actually enjoy listening to them if they're trying to get like actual game analysis, but I enjoy it.
Do you think the players know who you are?
No, I don't think anyone knows who I am. I definitely do not think the players know who I am.
We know who you are, Billy, and that's all that matters.
Thanks.
By the way, this has been bugging me since you've joined. But what's that jersey to your left? Like, what's that jersey?
That is Chris Sims, because we do a podcast with Chris Sims. So I bought a Chris Sims jersey off eBay for $17, and I put it behind me because prior to that, I had a Tua jersey behind me, and he would get mad at me for having the Tua jersey. So I got a Chris Sims jersey to kind of annoy him, and then I hung it up there. I was honestly shocked that I found it because I bought it last year, and I don't know why it is that someone still had a Chris Sims jersey or why they were selling it, but I had to swoop it up as soon as I could.
I got it for decently cheap.
Corey Brooks says you're literally invited to any baseball game you want. So
I saw Corey Brooks was on the call, and he made a show reference in the 14 strikeout game yesterday where he gave a hee-haw 3.
I think he literally just clipped that and posted it on X. Like,
that's how I saw it.
Not even an hour ago. Yeah.
Oh, you're a golfer. You're a golfer, Billy?
No. I do have golf clubs though.
That's what I was asking.
I did at, don't judge me, I did at Miami-Dade College because they offered a golf class. So I did it on the weekends, a non-credit class. It was a cheap way to get golf lessons. And it was at the Miccosukee Golf and Country Club on like 140 whatever in like Miller. And it was relatively cheap for like 8 weeks of golf lessons. And I went and I did that twice. So I got clubs because I was like, I'm going to teach myself how to golf. I'm going to do this class. Then I'm going to start playing golf. I feel like it could be good. It could be good, like for professional connections. We can go out and have like a golf day and I can talk to people, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then I was not great at it. And I became very self-conscious about my golfing abilities. So I took the class 2 different times. Then I never went golfing. And then we had a golf thing for work that I went to. And I quickly realized everyone's terrible at golf. And I could have been golfing this entire time because no one's actually good at golfing. Even if you think you're good, you're not really good at golfing. So I bought golf clubs and haven't really followed through on my golf dreams. Why? You guys want to go golfing? Let's go golfing.
I'm down to golf.
I mean, I do enjoy the occasional round at Topgolf, but beyond that, I don't do a whole lot of golf.
Isaac.
Corey Brooks, do you want to golf?
Corey would.
Corey, you're watching, so you may as well answer that in chat right now.
Yeah.
Isaac actually got into golfing, Billy, and he's actually gotten it pretty well. So that's the only reason I asked. So if you want to talk about golfing, you could talk to.
Are we going golfing with Isaac?
If you want, we're going up there next week. So, I'm going up there next week.
All right. What did he say? What did he say? He just said yes.
Kevin, were you in the Fins on First bracket challenge thing this year or no?
I was.
How'd
you do?
First round.
I had Craig miss round 1. So
that's dangerous. Yeah,
he pulled the Miami Dolphins and was a first round exit. I'm sorry, he pulled the Miami Marlins and was a first round exit.
Hey,
yeah,
Dolphins
but
too, so.
you were set up for failure there.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. So the person that does it, Alex Carver, he ran it a couple times to sim, and I think it was like the simulation before that I had a decent matchup.
You sim that,
and then he ran it again, and I got correct. So
who was your decent matchup? AKA, who did you think you were gonna beat?
I don't even know. It was like some random account.
UK guy, maybe.
BS. You were not gonna beat him. You weren't gonna beat him.
Who?
Peter Pratt.
No. So my first year on the bracket, I faced Peter Pratt and I got demolished. So
yeah, Peter Pratt, you're not going to stop.
You're back-to-back first round exit, Kevin.
Did I get Peter? I may have gotten either Peter or Craig, but I lost either way. So no, last year I got to like either the final 4, like the final 8, something like that, Elite 8. So wow, it wasn't too shabby. But all right, Jake.
All right, Billy. Let's get back to FIU baseball. Let's talk about the big thing that happened. No, not what's going on right now. Let's talk about what happened last season. All right. There was something big that happened literally like 8 days after you were on our show. You were invited out to FIU as they took on the Miami Hurricanes, and then this happened. Oh, it made it. All right. But here's the thing. You did not seem very happy about it. Let's take a quick replay. It made it there. It did not hit the dirt. So just how much time did you have to prepare for that? And just, how do you think it turned out?
I was disappointed by my – it's actually here, the ball. I put it in like a little
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's
a little case for it. I put it right there on top of a basketball. And if you look closely, there's some dirt on it. So you can't see it because of the lights, but I feel like it did hit some dirt. I did get a nice assist by the person catching it.
Brendan Roney. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I like him. He's my favorite.
Hang on.
It didn't.
No, that one's clean. That's clean, man.
I think it was his glove.
It was a breaking ball. Obviously, as you can see, there was some movement on it. I was really concerned about bouncing it, and I practiced a lot more than I should have. And that day, I went over to my dad's house, and he measured out the distance, and he's like, you should practice. He measured out the distance for me to practice, and then was like, you're going to be on an incline. I looked up how high the incline is, and then he tried to set up like little blocks of wood for me to stand on to throw. And I was like, if I throw off of these blocks of wood, I'm going to twist my ankle before the game. I'm fine. I got this. And then as soon as it happened, of course, I just ran out there, and I didn't give it any any gas or anything. I just kind of like lobbed it in there, and it barely made it. But yeah,
that's all it has to do. All it has to do is get there, and it did. So you know what? I'd be happy with that.
It was a good game. If they invite me back, I'll go whenever to throw out a first pitch. Like, get out of here. It was a good game. I thought they were going to win that game, and then afterwards they took me down to like this cool section like right behind home plate that's like indoors. Yeah, and I was there. I was talking to the president of the university, which is kind of cool guy.
Dr. Kenneth Jessel.
Yeah, that's the one.
Show not too long ago either.
Yeah. How was he?
He was cool. Business.
What episode is this? 52. 52.
Yeah,
this is 52. Let me pull up.
Let's rank all of our guests.
We can't do that out of the blue.
Why? We have time.
Like, rank guests in what? By like how impactful they've been on the show, or just how good they were as guests?
Oh my god.
Whichever you want. How impactful they were on the show. Sure, let's do that one.
I mean, Hunter DuBois has to be up there because it's the most watched episode of the show.
Wow.
I mean, Hunter. If you don't know,
what did Hunter do?
He's the team photographer for FIU football and FIU athletics. He's just a friend of ours.
Oh.
That was episode 41.
We had Kiwan on, the quarterback.
He was 32. Oh yeah, Kiwan Jenkins is the starting quarterback for FIU football. He was a cool guest to have on as well.
How's he looking this year?
I don't know. We'll find out on Tuesday. That's when
we're gonna find out when spring football gets going. But I think he had a pretty solid first year. I mean, he was kind of thrown into the mix, and he played a full
up and down. Up and down, I would say.
But,
yeah.
I mean, he got some good wins. He got some bad losses. It is what it is. He's a true freshman.
He got exactly right. He got some experience.
So it matters.
I mean, yeah, we had Kenneth Jessel. That was episode 32. So yeah.
Oh, exactly 20 episodes ago. So
who was episode 50? Who was the big 5-0?
Oh, we had a baseball player, Jeff LaQuarrie.
So,
that was a little disappointing.
Yeah, that reaction was a bit mixed.
No, I like Jeff. I'm sure he's a good guy.
Hey, he had a home run yesterday, so
yeah, we didn't we just talk about that earlier as well? Yeah,
he did hit a homer. So
Michael Biamonte was also a great guest. He was fun. That whole episode was fun. Yeah, the voice of the Heat. Right before that episode, we partnered with FIU football. We got to showcase the brand new Vice trailer for the Vice uniforms. Just right before our episode began. The same one that's.
Did you leak it?
We didn't leak it. We released it at the same time as they did, 8:00 that night.
Yeah, it was a coincidence that they were dropping their trail in our episode at the same time.
Oh, Corey Brooks had to remind me that episode 33 was a pretty good one. It featured him. So
yeah,
Corey has some of the best calls in FIU. So I'm not saying that because he's on here. I've said it many
times. He's a storyteller as well. He had quite a few stories to share during that episode.
Shots fired at AJ.
AJ's great.
We had him on, though. It's been a hot minute. That was like
who's better? 9? Who's better, Corey or AJ?
No.
In your opinion, Kevin,
dude, they could.
No comment. I plead the fifth.
Listen, I understand it's a lights out question.
Lights out! Lights out!
All right, I think that's the perfect segue to start talking about the Dan Le Batard show. So take it away, Kevin.
Wait, I have a question for you, Jake, before we do that. How do you feel about that jersey? Because they were great jerseys, but it was one of the games that I did, and it was a horrific game.
It was horrific. The jersey itself is nice. I think it's one of the best looking jerseys FIU has ever produced, and it's unique because no other college in the country has anything even similar to this, even the boys in Coral Gables. So we did hear from Hunter that they are going to bring the Vice uniforms back, maybe change them up a little bit. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Because I did what you did. I bought one. It didn't come in time for the game. I was going to wear it to broadcast the game, and then they got destroyed. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to return this. I'm going to keep this jersey.
It's a nice jersey to wear for the show.
Yeah, so. But it was not a great memento when I think back, like, oh, this wasn't a good score. But that game was so ridiculous. The way the field was painted was awesome. The fact that they had a Rolls Royce and a Lamborghini on the field.
The Rolls Royce, they had the Goodyear blimp. It was ESPN.
The Lamborghini turned out to be the worst part of it because, like, when UTEP intercepted the ball once, they literally ran to the Lamborghini and posed in front of it, and that was just like
they had to do that. Though.
Mood of the night. Someone was going to do that. It turned out
they had
UTEP.
to.
It sucks.
Yeah. Didn't work out.
Now, speaking of jerseys, I need to know how you found out about these Marlins jerseys getting the remake because you tweeted it out, and then like 10 minutes later they dropped the jerseys with your tweet on it.
You tell me if you like. You tell me if you like AJ or Corey better, and then maybe I'll give you that little piece of information.
All right, Kevin, start talking about the Dan Le Batard show, please. You have a question lined up here.
Yeah, so it's been a year since we last had you, and obviously the Le Batard show has grown. And just how do you think it's grown in the last year since we had you?
There's more people. There's new people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We switched studios. I think since the last time I was on. Now we're right across the street from the AAA at the Elser Hotel. Last year we were at the Clevelander. I like the studio. It's a nice location. There's new people. What else? I don't know.
Jeremy's now on there too. Yeah,
he is. Jeremy's there. He's very helpful.
Awesome.
I like Jeremy. Yeah,
he's great.
Who do you like better, Jeremy or Corey?
Corey, I think this is going to be your opportunity to get off the stream and don't watch the rest of this because something controversial is probably going to said before the end of the night. Incidentally, and it's going to be Billy's fault. It's going to be all.
I see Corey a lot more, so I'll say Corey. But Jeremy's a great guy. Jeremy's one of the nicest folks out there.
That was probably the most professional way to answer that, Kevin. And I don't know a professional way to answer that. So you know what? I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Except not now because I'm about to ask a question. So there, you've had a lot of great guests on the show over the years, and last time you were here, we talked about the Manfred and the Samson interviews. So now I'd like to ask you: is there any other specific interviews that you were a part of that you still think about to this day?
Positively or negatively?
It could be either
However
or.
you want. Yeah.
The Tua interview that we did last year at the Super Bowl wasn't our finest moment. That went off the rails kind of quickly because we were just talking to him. Well, we were talking to him about concussions, and it was at Radio Row, so it was in person, and it was just, he was promoting Subway, and we were playing this like game where you win a sandwich, and it was like this whole thing, and it was like supposed to be this lighthearted thing, and then it was just like concussion question after concussion question. And then I tried to lighten the mood because we had this guy on that was a doctor / former wrestler. And after Tua's concussion in Cincinnati, he was like going around telling people that the Dolphins and their coach should be charged with murder, that they put him in danger and all this stuff, which is like, he's not dead. He can't be charged with murder. He's alive. So I tried to break the ice when this was going down the whole concussion path, and I told him that thing, and then I asked him, how would you feel with your coach getting charged for your murder even though you're alive? And that was very awkward. And then someone clipped that without any of the context beforehand, not knowing that I was doing it to try to, like, as a joke, try to change the subject and lighten the mood. So that was a long day because it was the last day last year, and it was before we left, and I didn't realize that there was like this whole, mess that I had accidentally created with the clip going out on Dolphins Twitter that had been going on for hours. And I saw it when I sat down at the terminal at the airport, and I was like, oh, crap. Like now what do I do? So that one wasn't great. But I will say this. See, supposedly afterwards, he canceled a lot of his other appearances, and people were blaming us for that, saying that it's because of the interview that we did with Tua. But after that happened, I used to have a Tua jersey that was hanging where that Chris Sims jersey is hanging. I was wearing the Tua jersey when we did the interview. And after it was done, before that, they had said, no, you want to sign the jersey, like joking around. So when it was done, he went and he reached over, grabbed the Sharpie, and he's like, hey, you want me to sign the jersey? And I like bent over and he signed the jersey like on my back. And now I have it over here framed. So as awkward as it was, still a super nice guy, super present, big Tua guy. What do you think they should do, Jake? How much should they pay Tua?
Oh God. I say don't give him like a bazillion dollar 5,000 year contract yet. I say give him one more year to really show how he can perform, because obviously for most of the season he was excellent. Things got a little dicey down in December, and obviously having to go up to Kansas City first round of the playoffs was pretty unfair. So it is what it is. Just give him one more year to really blossom and see how he develops in the Mike McDaniel offense. I don't know what the hell they're doing over in the defense land right now, but
I have a question. I have a question pertinent to the Dolphins and the Paws Up podcast. How do we feel about the Dolphins meeting with Jonnu Smith?
I was going to save that for news break, but I guess we can talk a bit about it now.
Well, let's hold on. Time out. Let's do it in news break. Can we do news break now?
I was just going to briefly say it in news break, but like,
okay, pretend if you're listening, Corey, anyone else out there that's listening, erase what you just heard from your memory. Jake has some news to break.
He would join a very barren tight end group in the Miami Dolphins, so I feel like his odds of becoming a starter would be very, very likely if he were to join. It's obviously he has great hands. Maybe he would have to work a bit more on his blocking ability, because that's the type of offense McDaniel likes to run with his tight ends. That's what Gesicki did.
He's a good blocker, though.
Yeah, that's what I think. So I think hands-wise, he's perfect. McDaniel might want him to still work more on the blocking nonetheless, because that's what he might be doing for most of his time.
So funny.
Well,
I
thought that I heard. That's not true. Don't say that about yourself. I'm sure your story is very good, Kevin. I want to hear your story now. Don't worry about what I was going to say. No, I thought. Well,
I had a college teacher that was Jonnu Smith's professor. So I don't know. That was pretty cool. That's it. Yeah, it wasn't a story. It was more of a statement.
You probably have a lot of teachers that were teachers of the athletes. You go to the same school the athletes went to.
Yeah, but you never. It's been such a long time since the guy was there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You would think at least some of them. So I'm in a class with one of the baseball players, for example.
Well, how did that work? Like, how did you find out this teacher was Jonnu Smith's teacher?
I overheard him say it.
Oh,
he didn't know who the player was. He was like, "Oh, this guy."
It's not very exciting, Kevin. God,
I'm like,
I like the story. It was a good story.
You
okay.
see?
It was a pretty good story. Shout out to you, Kevin.
Did you go to the Caribbean series at all?
I did not. It was the same week as the Super Bowl.
Was it? No.
It was a week. It was a week of like Super Bowl week. It started like the Friday before, but I left like Sunday, so I was packing and stuff. So I did not make it out. It looked like a lot of fun though.
It was great. I was there. I was covering it. I was there for almost.
It's just always nice to see that ballpark full, you know.
That last game was something too. That was a great game.
Back to Jonnu for a minute. I thought that I had heard that McDaniel said that like tight ends was like the next piece in like the offense and what they wanted to involve. So like they basically weren't doing many things with tight ends. Because the thing is this, right? If Jonnu, if Jonnu comes down here, if he blocks, he's gonna be open on plays where Waddle and and Tyreek Hill, if they're running around, Jonnu's capable of catching the ball and giving you big chunks. So I feel like it would be a good fit for the Dolphins.
I agree.
The season that he had last year, obviously they used him differently in Atlanta, but the season that he had last year would have been the best Dolphins tight end season since Gesicki in like 2021. They really haven't gotten a lot out of tight ends lately.
Exactly, and you really only have Durham Smythe and some other dude.
I think Smythe is okay. Don't get me wrong, but Jonnu Smith I think is an upgrade.
Exactly. So
yeah,
I need to ask you, Billy. This was Jake who told me I should mention this. You had some issues with Buffalo last year.
I did.
The city, what was it? The city of Buffalo? Yeah, city of Buffalo.
Yeah, the city of Buffalo.
Yeah. So have you had any? Well, tell me the background of this issue first of all, and then have you had any formal apology to them?
You know, I feel like you guys are just bringing me on to bamboozle me and try to get me and bring up my worst moments and try to bring them back.
I thought that was a great moment. You literally got a billboard in the city of Buffalo. How is that not a great moment?
I never did. Okay, so what happened was similar to the Tua interview.
Okay.
We were talking about the Bills and we were going down a path that seemed like not the best path or like a redundant path or whatever. And I decided to try to break up what was going on by just kind of throwing something out there and not thinking that anyone would hear it and we just move on and that would be that, right? And what I said was allegedly, I don't remember exactly. So people claim I say this. I don't remember fully saying this. What I said was that Josh Allen kind of had a stupid face. And I said that because, you know, sometimes after he throws an interception or he fumbles, they like zoom in on him on the sideline and he's like deep in thought and like, you know, whatever. So I said that and then they kind of ran with it. And I was hoping we'd forget about it and we didn't forget about it. And then it became a thing where it was like we should put up billboards ahead of the Dolphins and the Bills game saying Josh Allen has a stupid face. And then they were calling around Buffalo asking for pricing. How much would it cost to have a billboard that says Josh Allen has a stupid face?
Wait, you guys were doing this or who was doing this?
Yes, the show was doing this, even though I said, can we please not do this? They continued to do this. They were looking at billboard pricing. It was a whole thing. Then someone in Buffalo actually put up a billboard that said Josh Allen has a very smart looking face, which made no sense because the stupid face billboard didn't go up. But somewhere in Buffalo, there was a billboard that said Josh Allen has a very smart looking face. And then the city of Buffalo flat out refused to put up the billboards, which was great for me because they didn't actually do it. But the company that owned the billboards refused to make this billboard. So then I was asked to make an apology to kind of bring this bit to an end because of the fact that we didn't have the payoff of the billboard and they wouldn't take our money for the billboards. I had to make an apology. And I thought the story was done then. But this year in Las Vegas, we interviewed Josh Allen. So I was face to face with Josh Allen and I had to.
I saw him there as well. Yeah.
I had to come clean. We interviewed him and I had to come clean about the whole stupid face situation. So that was fun.
Wait, so you had to tell him what happened?
Yeah, I did.
What was his response?
He seemed to be familiar with this situation. Not that I was the one that was responsible for it, but I honestly I liked him. He seemed like a cool guy, and he was kind of down to just mess around and have fun. So I like him. He's a nice guy.
Your apology,
did you not see that apology from Billy? I put it in the start of the trailer, that we made for this episode.
Oh, was it that Buffalo Wing thing?
Yeah, he literally finished like Bengals by 10.
Bengals won that game, right? Didn't they win?
I have no idea.
I think the Bengals did win that game. Doesn't matter.
I have no idea. So, I guess let's rebound here and talk a bit more about Las Vegas. Obviously, you were there. I was there. I don't know about you, but I had a super fun week in Las Vegas. The game turned out to be a classic in the end, and I thought the halftime show was pretty good as well. What were your thoughts on everything, every single thing?
Just to close the loop, the Bengals won that game 27-10. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. Who was the halftime show this year? Oh, it was Usher.
Usher.
How was it in stadium? I heard that in stadium it wasn't great. That the audio was off.
Actually, I thought the audio was great. When they started singing, the audio got absurdly loud. That was the only real negative. Aside from that, it was all right.
What'd you think of the stadium?
Allegiant? It's great. I mean, I didn't really get to walk around the whole thing, but the seats were relatively comfortable. It looked new. It was in a good spot near the strip, so can't complain.
It seems very accessible if you're I guess the people that live in Las Vegas don't actually live near the strip, right? But like if you're at the strip, it's right there. It's like walking distance.
Well,
a lot of hotels.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a bridge from the Mandalay Bay that'll take you directly to drop you off right in front of Allegiant. I believe so. Yeah, it's in a good spot. I mean, there's not really much to say. It's a good modern NFL stadium that you can tell they spent $1 billion on. So
yeah,
it is what it is. And the game was great. I don't know. The game started off slow, but in the second half, it turned into one of the greatest Super Bowls ever, in my opinion.
It was all right.
Oh,
I mean, even if I don't know.
I'll say this: I think the wrong team won. Low key, I think the wrong team won.
But what does that mean?
I was rooting for the 49ers, for two reasons. Because I wanted to see the Chiefs lose because I'm getting tired of them. And the second reason, it's the first game I've ever been to where I got to bet at a sports book and I took Niners -2. So I was definitely betting on San Francisco.
How much did you bet? How much did you lose?
Only $10. That was the one bet I was not really for sure on, so I didn't bet much.
Okay. What else did you bet on?
Heads on the coin toss, which I got.
Okay.
McCaffrey to score the first touchdown of the game, which I got.
Mm-hmm.
My dad did more betting, and he got screwed a couple of times. He bet the over, and he lost by a hook, which sucks.
Yeah.
Who did you have, Billy? Chiefs?
I kind of wanted the Chiefs to win. Yeah.
Wanted?
I mean, I didn't really care either way, but I kind of wanted the Chiefs to win. I was fine with either team. I didn't get the whole Chiefs hate. I was there on the Monday night, which was media night or whatever, that was inside the stadium, and it was I don't know how the game was, but it was overwhelmingly a 49ers crowd. It was a lot more 49ers fans than Chiefs fans.
I the area I was sitting at was definitely also more 49ers fans.
Yeah, and they were booing the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I don't view them as the villains they seem to enjoy being and that they want to be.
Not
now.
The Patriots from the 2000s or the 2010s.
No, they're nowhere near the Patriots. You would put them on that level?
No, I wouldn't.
Kevin, why did you want the 49ers to win? You hate Taylor Swift?
Basically, yeah.
Really? You don't like Taylor Swift?
I'm not a big fan of Taylor Swift. I don't know. I feel like it's a little annoying every time.
Wait. You mean Taylor Swift the music or Taylor Swift the person?
It's just you hate the amount of publicity she's getting just for sitting in a suite,
Listen, I don't think it's her fault. I think it's the media's fault.
I agree. I agree.
All right.
And that's why you want to see the Chiefs lose.
Taylor Swift or Corey Brooks?
Corey Brooks by a million.
You know what, Corey? We got to be completely real. Corey, if you're still listening, answer that one yourself. Are you better than Taylor Swift? No context. Just say yes or no.
Jeez.
So, see what that. Kevin, is it time for a news break?
It is time for a news break.
Oh wait, first off, what did he say? Daniel here says Jackson Mahomes is his arch enemy.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, honestly.
Okay.
Wow.
So, all right.
Our boy Daniel.
Does Jackson know that, or it's like a one-way feud with Daniel?
Am I gonna get who's better, Jackson or Corey? Or
No, why would I do that?
I feel like the last thing Billy's going to say before the show wraps up: who's better, Billy or Corey? And that's going to be the ultimate show.
I did one of the games with Corey.
I think you did, right? It was the second one.
Oh, look at Corey, man! Look at how humble this man is.
I did the second game with Corey, and we saw one of the worst, like punt catch interference calls.
You were there for that too.
College
I remember.
Football. It was
that was the. Was that the UTEP game? That was the UTEP.
No, that was the Jack State.
No.
Game.
Oh, Jacksonville State. That was the Sunblazer game.
That was horrible. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That game was not. The score was not indicative of how.
FIU was one drive away from probably winning if they got that turnover. It was.
It's the rare like one drive away from winning that they actually lost by like 3 scores.
Don't worry about that. That's not important. It's just the story of the game was that. What is it? Punt.
All right, Jake. Get us a news break.
Yeah. Let's get to news break already. It's the Paws Up podcast news break, your source for all things FIU athletics and just FIU in general. So let's start off with the NFL. We had talked about this earlier because Billy wanted to spoil this for us.
Sorry.
But FIU alum Jonnu Smith was cut by the Atlanta Falcons despite having a solid season. We had talked about Jonnu being cut last week. Now we have a report from Adam Schefter that Smith has visited the Miami Dolphins and that the two sides are in the middle of contract negotiations. He would join a tight end group that's somewhat barren, with Durham Smythe being the starter last season. That's how I got my answer ready for Billy when he asked that. So, yeah, hopefully he gets to join the 305 once more and become your starting tight end for the Miami Dolphins. So let's move on to a few FIU sports. A few players won some Conference USA Player of the Week awards. For men's basketball, it was Javante Hawkins who earned Conference USA Player of the Week primarily for his 27-point effort to help FIU beat Western Kentucky a few days ago on Senior Day. And in addition, Callie Meredith has been awarded the Conference USA Freshman of the Week for softball. In her last 6 games, she's posted a .421 batting average, 5 RBIs, and even achieved an inside-the-park home run. And finally, to put a smile on Jonathan Mayer's face, who is unfortunately not here, let's wrap up with swimming and diving. Announced earlier today, Christy Chewy has been selected to compete at the 2024 NCAA D1 Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. She's set to compete in the 100-meter breaststroke at the number 24th ranked spot, and the 200-meter breaststroke ranked 20th. This marks the 13th straight year that an FIU swimmer and or diver has been invited to compete at the NCAA Championships, which is the longest among all mid-major swimming and diving programs. The championships are set to begin on March 20th and will conclude on the 23rd. So that was your news break. So, yeah, let's
good news break.
I guess this is a part of the episode where we spend the most of our time talking about the Miami Marlins. So before that, let's just see what
Where's
Daniel
Jonathan?
has to say.
How is he still at AT&T?
Going to have 3,000 next season with the Finns. Pump your brakes there, Daniel. I'm excited as well, but not even Tyreek hit 2,000, and that was disappointing enough. 3,000 is going to be insane.
I just texted Jonathan. Where are you at, man?
I wanted to ask him about the swimming and diving because I saw he was there at the conference championship.
He
was holding a trophy.
He did not dive in the water like everyone else did to celebrate, and then we're all mad at him about that.
Well, he's a journalist. He has to be impartial, even though he's taking pictures of the
trophy.
trophy.
He dove in the water. Scott Carr dove in the water. Come on, he should have.
Yeah.
He said he's driving back, so maybe for Solon by the time he gets back,
Perhaps, but Kevin, lock in with the Marlins because
Yeah. So Billy, we will not say the day you're calling the game with Kyle, but I assume it's known that you will be back unless I just spoiled it for the world. But whoa, voice crack. But what have been your thoughts on the Marlins offseason?
It got off to a slow start, right? They didn't really do much of anything for a while. They traded for Tim Anderson, so we'll see how that turns out.
Tim Anderson. They signed him.
Well, they signed him. Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. They signed Tim Anderson, which is a high upside signing because he had a career low year last year. So you sign him for relatively cheap, and hopefully that's something. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. They weren't expected to make the playoffs last year. They made the playoffs. I feel like they have a solid core back. We'll see how pitching goes. I was told that AJ Puck has developed like 3 new pitches, which is incredible. He had 2 pitches last year. Now he has 5 pitches. He's going to be in the starting rotation. So we'll see. I'm hoping to go this weekend and catch them in person. And then, I'll check back in with you. I'll just text you privately.
Yeah.
And then you can pass that along. You can pass that along to Jake if he's interested at all. But I feel like he doesn't really care about the Marlins that much.
I have a bunch of Marlins bobbleheads right about here. And I have a really cool poster over there. But beyond that, I mean,
what's the poster?
It's from the inaugural season. It's a Marlin jumping out of a baseball. It looks super.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
What do you think of Peter Bendix, Billy? Sorry to cut you off.
It's fine. It's Marlins. I don't care.
It's early. You see, that's what I told you. I told you, Kevin.
I knew he didn't care, but I told him we had to talk about this.
We don't have to if Jake doesn't want to talk about it.
I care in secret, but I mean, look, I'm all in on the Florida Panthers right now. That's my team.
Are
That's
you?
I'm covering. That's the team I know is going to win the Stanley Cup and make South Florida proud. So,
well, I mean, they made it last year, and what did they do? They won 1 game.
It's okay. It's the journey that it's like a nice road trip. It's the journey, not the destination. Okay.
No, I'm a destination guy. But, Kevin, are you a destination or a journey guy?
And what was the destination for the Marlins first round of the playoffs last year?
Dude, what you expect, man? Like, let's be honest.
Great. What are you doing, Jake? Come on. You're being very contentious.
I know I sound like a Marlins hater right now. Look, I want them to succeed. They're just the one team every year I just can never get my hopes up for.
I don't believe you.
To be fair, I got my hopes up for this past offense season more than any other in my life, and once again, I was let down. But that's okay. I still love him.
Yeah.
What do you think? Have you spoken to Peter Bendix or no?
Have I? No, I have not spoken.
No,
to Peter
I don't know why I thought you may have.
Have you spoken to Peter Bendix?
Yeah, the day they signed Tim Anderson. So
yeah,
he's an all right guy.
He
doesn't look like he would be a baseball president of baseball ops. It's
early still. I mean, you should give him some time before reserve judgment on Peter. It's just he's a couple months into the job. We'll see how it goes. He's in a weird spot where like the offseason had rumors where it felt like this may be another rebuild where they're talking about potentially trading Jesus Luzardo, and you're like, oh boy, like what are we gonna do here, right? And then anyone that was signed had like some connection to their Rays in their past.
Yeah,
meaning like every single person they were signing was either a former Ray or like a Ray 2 stops ago. So, I mean, to their credit, they didn't really. The team's gonna look similar to how it looked last year, right? So you lose Soler in free agency. Sandy obviously is going to miss the season. So those are 2 big pieces that you're going in there without. But aside from that, they have a similar core. So, I mean, we'll see, I guess. It's hard. The NL East is hard because the Braves obviously are going to be good. The Phillies are going to be good. Yeah. The Mets are rebuilding, and the Nationals are the Nationals. So, I mean, at best, you think it's going to be another wild card season, and worst, you take a step back. But I feel like last season may have been, I don't want to say fool's gold, but it was not. It wasn't expected. So we'll see.
I mean, when you look at it,
you also have a season full of Bell and Berger too, which you didn't have last year. So
exactly.
We'll see how it goes, and we'll see if Tim Anderson is anything good or anything close to what he was, and maybe you have a surprising season because you have a decent rotation, and the offense is. If you take 162 games this year of this offense compared to last year's offense over 162 games, I feel like this full season of this offense will be better than it was last year because you're getting the guys you got at the trade deadline, and their offense looked pretty good the second half. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I remember that day they signed Tim Anderson. He was there, and then they were talking about the physical. Maybe he doesn't pass it, but he was there, so you assumed he was gonna most likely pass it. Yeah. So he's just sitting there, and he can't talk to anyone because he's not on the team technically. So I guess maybe he could talk to them, but he was kind of quiet. He was sitting in the corner of the clubhouse, and then everyone walked out, and he didn't. And you're like, oh god. And they told us 15 minutes, everything will be done. You'll guys talk to him. Okay. We may have waited about 4 hours until everything was cleared up, and I was like, oh god. So everyone was just standing outside the clubhouse waiting for the guy to walk out, and that was the money shot right there. But it was a whole thing. We got him though. He walked out, and he's been all right now, actually.
So Billy, the last time you were on the show, MLB literally had just introduced the new rules, such as the pitch clock, the bigger bases, and the shift ban. You yourself were interested in seeing how all of those would affect the game, and obviously a full season has passed. So just what are your thoughts on all those new rules? Which ones do you like? Which ones do you not?
I think they've all worked out, right? Like the pace of play was great last year. You had games that were finishing in just over 2 hours, which was good. The larger bases, and even the fact like the pitch clock, you could almost time when they were going to go to the plate, and then you only had a certain number of times that you could throw back and try to pick off. So like stolen bases were way up, which I thought was great, except for the Marlins. The Marlins were one of the few teams I think that had fewer stolen bases from the previous year to last year, which was kind of weird because all around baseball, stolen bases were up last year. So let's see what happens this year with that. But I like the changed rules. I think that it all, it improved the game. It made it easier to watch the games, and it made them move faster, which has been, I guess, the concern for baseball for a long time, which is how long the games were taking. So I don't have any major complaints on the rule changes, I don't think. What about you, Jake?
I'm pretty much in the same boat as you. The fact that a baseball game takes about 2 hours is nice. I mean, some games used to take like 4 hours. And that was making it. That was a fast game in people's eyes, a 4-hour game. So, yeah, 2 hours is fine with me. I don't really have any problems with that. Bigger bases, I don't know, and the shift change is also okay with me. And the fact that we're seeing it now in college as well, the brand new pitch clock at the FIU baseball stadium, that was just put there on the scoreboard. And I think so far, college wise, the pitch clock has been fine. I think there was one game where there was a pitch pitch clock violation that Kevin, I think it was a game that both you and I were at for FIU. I think maybe it was
game you've been at. No, I'm joking.
Like opening day, there was a pitch clock violation. But after that, I don't think there has been one. So
no, I mean the other day the Sunday game finished under 2 hours. It finished in 1 hour and 58. But
I mean, I think that's awesome. I think that's cool.
I'm not complaining, man.
Not with me.
Billy, you said the Marlins win 92 games last year. You weren't totally off.
Did I say
that was your big time prediction at the end of our last episode.
Wow.
You said
they won 84, so that's not bad. You were what 8 games.
I saw something in them.
You did, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So what's the prediction this time around?
Oh, are we doing a Marlins prediction, an FIU prediction? What are we predicting?
We can do an FIU prediction too. How many games they'll take against FAU?
Yeah, we'll do an FAU series prediction. But first off, again, 92 games. Is it over or under?
Under 92.
Okay. Is it over or under 84, which is how many they won last year?
You know what? Let's say 87.
All right.
I don't think 87 is going to be enough to get into the playoffs, but let's actually, you know what? With 3
no, it probably is. It probably is.
87 could get it done.
If 84 got it done last year, you would have to think 87.
Let's say 87. Yeah, but last year at the end, it was like no one wanted to win the wild card. It was kind of crazy how everyone was collapsing because you thought that the Marlins were going to kind of fall apart, but then everyone fell apart. The Reds fell apart. Like I remember everyone was high on the Reds for a little bit after they got Ellie De La Cruz, and they fell apart. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about.
The Cubs blew it to like the max too. I mean, I think they got swept at the end. They were facing the Braves, but they kept it close. And then the
Cubs were weird because at the deadline they seemed like they were gonna be sellers, and it seemed like they were gonna get rid of Bellinger, and they did not. And they ended up re-signing him now. Yeah, and then they got right back into it, and then they were almost a playoff team, and then they fell apart at the end too. So 87, that's my number. I should go with 94. Should I go with 94?
It's up to you. We're not going to stop you. Kevin, what's your record prediction?
You'll be on record saying it though, Billy. So
yeah, I think 87 is safe. I would.
I know that's why I wonder if I should go. With
I'm going to say stick with that, Billy. Kevin, what would your record prediction?
I'll let Billy think about it. I'm gonna go with 82 wins.
Oh, boo, lame.
Yeah,
I'll
I
go
mean,
70.
I was on the Fangraphs podcast not too long ago, and I told them I don't think they'll win over 80, but
Jeez.
I will say I'll be
Humble
positive.
brag.
I'll say 82. Humble
Not that
brag.
not that anyone really cares, but I'll go 76.
76.
That's not awful. Okay, maybe a little, but still. All right.
So-
Have you locked in your decision, Billy?
I'm gonna go with 94. But let the record. I thought about 87.
Put it on
but
record.
Put in parentheses thought about saying 87, but then Jake's negativity made him go to 94.
There you go. 94
No,
wins.
you're missing all the other You're missing all the other stuff that I said.
I can only type so fast.
Okay.
All right, don't worry.
Just for the official record.
Okay.
Start typing, Jake, and I will say we'll go with FIU predictions now to wrap up here. Boca, FAU, they actually beat Vanderbilt this year once, so I don't know how much of that'll sway your opinion. They did lose to Jeremy's team, UCF, so fight on, I guess. But anyways,
I'm not a UCF guy. I'm over
thank
them.
God. Thank God.
Like in any sport, just not.
I just am over them.
Scott Carr was over at UCF before FIU, so.
I know.
Put that out there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like Scott. This is not a Scott thing.
Yeah.
But he saw the light and he came down here. You know what I mean?
We'll Kevin and I will do the FIU prediction, and maybe you can base your answer around that. I'm going to say FIU wins 2 or 3. They'll win
I was going to say that.
They'll win the Friday and Saturday, but they'll lose the Sunday. So.
Oh,
my guy, I am completely on the opposite. I say FAU takes 2 out of 3. FAU will win Friday, Saturday. FIU wins on Sunday.
Now,
I was going to say 2 of 3.
That and
well, yeah, I can't say the same thing. So I'm going to say that FAU is going to win the first one.
Okay.
And then FIU is going to win the next 2.
That's fine. That's fine. No, yeah. I mean,
there we go.
We all have different record predictions. That's what makes this exciting. So now we have a.
How is FAU? Are they good?
They're 6-5, so they've been all right.
FIU
I changed my mind.
7-5?
8-5. Get with it, Jake.
Oh, 8-5, right?
Even he knew.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm
changed
guessing
my mind.
you have the schedule
FIU's,
on a different tab.
FIU is gonna sweep FAU.
Hey, you sound like Jonathan Mayer right now. You sound just like Johnny, Billy. Johnny he's shedding a tear right now. So, yeah.
I'm trying to make him proud, even though he's never been on with me. The last time he wasn't on with me either.
He wasn't on with you? Yeah, he wasn't. I forgot.
He's had 2 chances and he's gonna blow both of them.
I'm gonna text him one more time to see if he could join.
Classic.
Join up.
I guess in the meantime, let's do some fun and nearing end of show rapid fire questions here. Starting with,
I would argue, Jake, these have all been fun questions.
They've all been fun questions. Maybe not.
You had a good time.
That brought back some bad memories for you, Billy, which I do apologize for. And technically the Tua question as well, even though it wasn't really a Tua question.
I can't believe the Buffalo thing got to that extent.
I'm not surprised.
I have this bad habit of thinking no one can hear the things that I say. So I say these things thinking they'll go nowhere, and then I forget that people can hear them, and that the show is somewhat popular, and things travel fast. So
we literally had a conversation about this the last time you were talking about when the Peepo sketch went a bit too far.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Speaking of that,
when you ask what's changed and what I've learned in a year, nothing. Apparently, I've learned absolutely nothing.
That's okay. You know what? Some years are, you don't have to learn some years. That's fine. Yeah, learning is overrated. So. When was the last time Peepo has made a guest appearance on the Dan Le Batard show?
It's been a while. It's been, I think the last time was in 2021, maybe.
Wow.
Sheesh.
I think the last time people was on was in an interview with Mario Cristobal. That was the last time.
Okay, you did mention that.
And that got a little out of control.
Well, maybe there's some Canes fans who are dying to know, but they're starting to get hyped again. They're like nationally ranked or something. Is Is people going to make a
Marvel
level cameo?
Are they actually nationally ranked?
Yeah, they're like I think they're like 17th or something crazy like that. They got that Cam Ward quarterback from I can't remember what university. I think Washington State.
Yeah.
So
they got a good signing class though, but it's always Paws Up here.
And nothing happens.
They have some hype. They got, from what I saw, they got a pretty good looking schedule on their end, but I mean, we'll see. So
I'm looking this up right now, Jake.
Looking up what? Like the last time?
I don't know.
What? You don't know what you're looking up.
I'm looking up their schedule, and I was actually looking to see if they were ranked. Yeah.
I don't think they're ranked, man.
I don't know. I don't remember exactly how high they are, but I did see that they're like nationally ranked. It could be like the low mid-20s, so we'll see.
You want to do wins and losses on the Canes schedule?
No,
this is a Canes podcast.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is very clearly
all of them. So
this is
they start in Gainesville
against the Gators. Yeah, they do against the Gators.
W
or L, Jake?
I'll say W because they lost to the Gators last time. I think it was last season or maybe 2 seasons ago. So they'll get their revenge.
Gators haven't looked great.
Yeah, listen, I'm not. Look, okay, Billy, we don't have many standards, but we are not going to predict the Canes football season on this show. Do you want to predict the FIU football season just for fun?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Okay,
Hold
let's
on.
pull that up. That could be a
up.
load of fun. That could
you
be a
started
good time.
with them, not me.
This could be a good time to stall while Johnny is driving.
I have it here.
Speedily driving to.
We started Indiana.
Yes.
I'm gonna go win.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna say that's a loss, but a respectful
really?
loss.
Indiana's pretty good.
I'm saying really. It's in Bloomington.
Really?
They almost beat Arkansas though, so you kind of tell yourself, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Central Michigan next week.
Loss, but Indiana takes it.
So
we start off the season 0-1. Big one.
They'll beat Central.
They're going to host Central Michigan. They're going to take them out.
Yep, that's 2-0 for me. Then
they go to Boca.
Yeah, you invited me to that game.
For me, 2-1. Then they host Monmouth. They're going to beat them. They're going to go to 3-1.
Wait! Whoa! Slow your roll. I'll say they beat FIU. Are you just going to predict 16-0?
We're taking this one game at a time.
Did Johnny text you something before this episode? Be like, you better predict everything.
No, his phone's broken apparently.
Oh yeah, that's
he's getting a new phone actually. So,
well,
so
all right. So I think they'll beat FIU. I think they beat Monmouth. I'm at 3-1. Billy's at 4-0.
Yeah, I'm at 3-1 as well. Billy for some reason is at 4-0. So
for some reason, because I have faith in this team,
they'll take on Louisiana Tech as their first conference opponent. That's probably going to be the homecoming game, Saturday, September 28th.
Really?
I mean, they scheduled homecoming last year against Liberty, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's another conference opponent this season.
Well, I say FIU wins. They'll go to 4-1.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take FIU as well. So they're what? They're already 4-1. They have the same amount of wins as last year. You think you're 5-0? You're going to be 5-0.
One game away from bowl eligibility. 5 weeks into.
Then they got to go to Liberty, who won the conference championship and got blown out by Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl.
4-2.
They're 4-2.
I think that's where they get their 6th win.
Okay. What? Billy, stop.
Potentially.
Potentially. This is no potential. This is a win or loss scenario, Billy.
Well, it's all hypothetical. These games haven't happened yet, right?
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry. Is it a crime on the Paws Up podcast to have Panther pride? I don't understand.
Oh my gosh.
No, not at all. It's fine.
No, it's not. It's just we hear this all the time from Jonathan Mayer that FIU is going to go undefeated, and it's like, oh my God, Johnny. Okay, we get it. He's an SID, but Jesus, man. Anyway, regardless,
so far they haven't lost a game this season.
Okay, correct? They're 6-0 for you. For Kevin and I, they're like what 4-2.
4-2.
So, yeah, 4-2. Then they go to UTEP. I will say they'll beat UTEP, so they're 5-2 for us, and they're 7-0 for you.
I was gonna give that. I was gonna be a loss for me. UTEP.
No, it's not.
That's where the perfect season was gonna end.
All right.
Why? Give us your reasoning.
6-1 for you?
Because I've been in the booth for 3 games, 2 full games, and 1 was just a cameo. 2 of those games were against UTEP, and they lost both of those games. So I have bad history with UTEP.
So they're gonna win to UTEP off of a principle, off of a notion from you that just because they lost badly last year,
I have them losing to UTEP. That's my first loss of the year. But luckily they're already bowl eligible, so it doesn't matter all that much.
That's fine. Yeah, you're right.
But here's the thing. At 6-0, they may have been flirting with an others receiving votes. You know what I mean? So that loss to UTEP is going to be a bad one because then they'll fall out of the others receiving votes for potentially their first time being ranked nationally.
Kevin, can you believe what you're hearing right now? I just got to say this. Can you believe what you're hearing?
Whoops.
Oh, yeah. Jonathan's calling.
Nope, that was not Jonathan. That was
not Jonathan.
Fish on
All right, so Kevin, what's your record up to this point against UTEP? They're what, 5-2 for me, I think.
5-2. Yeah, I think we're gonna end up with the same record.
So then they host Sam Houston State.
That's another win. Bowl eligibility, baby.
So that's another win. They're 6-2 for us.
Sam Houston State, sneaky, not as bad as they appeared to be last year. They were in it in a bunch of games. If you look at their record, they had games there that they could win that they were blowing in stupid fashion.
They almost beat Liberty.
They did almost beat Liberty. Did they beat Jacksonville State or they almost beat Jacksonville State? Don't ask me why I know so much about Sam Houston State, but they were a sneaky team last year that were not as bad as they appeared to be. Anyways.
Okay, but is FIU going to beat them?
Different season. I'll give FIU a win on that one.
So what?
So they're 7-1
and Jake and I are 6-2.
That is
riding
insane.
high.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. Why is 7-1 that much more insane than 6-2? It's one game difference.
Yeah, but the one game you picked was like
Indiana.
Actually, I take that back. You literally said they're going to beat Liberty and Lynchburg. I take that back. What am I saying? So okay. My mind is messed up right now. All right, so then they host New Mexico State right after.
That's a win. FIU beats.
I'm going to say that's a loss, actually. I disagree with you, Kevin. I'm going to say it's a loss. So they're going to be 6-3, which is still great.
That's a win.
So right now I am 7-2. Jake is what? 6-3.
6-3.
Billy's
8-1.
8-1, yeah.
All right, then they got to go to Jacksonville State. I'm going to say it's another loss. So they're 6-4 for me.
I agree. They'll lose. 7-3 for me.
It's a win for me.
So they're 9-1. All right.
9-1.
9-1.
Then they go take on the brand new opponent in Conference USA, just elevated from FCS, Kennesaw State.
FIU dub. 8-2.
I'm gonna say that is a dub. So
that's a loss for me. That's because they're gonna be riding high, and that's when we have a slip up there.
Okay.
So Billy now goes to what? 9-2. Jake is
7-4. 7-4,
and I am 8-2.
Mm-hmm.
Then they
dude, how are you so high right now?
They close out the season hosting Middle Tennessee, who fired their coach in the offseason, by the way.
FIU I have them losing that game too. Yeah.
8-3.
8-3. I'm going to say they win that. I'm going to say so. That's 8-4 for me.
I have them. I had them headed into bowl season reeling. They're now 9-3. They were looking at a 10-win season. Coughed up the last two games, and then what bowl are you predicting that they're going to go to?
Bahamas Bowl, just because the Bahamas Bowl likes FIU for some reason.
Okay.
I'll say Cure Bowl. I don't know.
Actually, I take that back. If they win the conference championship, I know I sound stupid right now, Kevin, but if they win the conference championship game, they'll get into a nice bowl, like maybe the Cheez-Its Bowl or the Sun Bowl or something like that. The Pop-Tarts Bowl would be cool because the Pop-Tarts Bowl was awesome last year.
It was.
They had like that Pop-Tart mascot that got cooked alive and then eaten alive. That was a
sad day.
That was a sad day, but you know what?
Didn't another bowl?
Where are we going with it?
So what's your final season? Pop-Tart Daddy. What?
What's your final season record?
Me 9-3.
9-3, and that doesn't include conference championship, which they would probably be in with a 9-3 record.
I'll have them win that.
Okay, so they're 10-3. They go into a good bowl game. They'll take on the Miami Hurricanes in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Ooh, that would be a matchup.
Dude, if FIU makes a bowl game and Miami does as well, they need to pair these teams up. Please, it needs to happen. It would be what, the first time since 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, since they have to do it.
I don't think they would.
They wouldn't, but they should.
Anyway,
Kevin, why am I asking you? I know the answer is no. Billy, do you play video games? And if so, are you getting the new NCAA?
No, I do play video games. What are you talking about?
You play video games, but you play MLB The Show. It doesn't count. That's like a simulator. Are you going to get the new NCAA game that everyone's so hyped about?
I have a Nintendo Switch, and I don't think it's going to come out on Switch, so probably
it's definitely not coming out on the Switch.
I hope it comes out on PS4, but if it doesn't,
I have the show on the Switch.
Hey, I respect it, dude. Look, I got a Switch. No.
There you go. Okay.
Alrighty.
Well, we're running out of time to stall to see if Johnny can get on before we have to. He's not coming
here.
I don't think so. But
big time to me again.
At the same time, we had you on for like 90 minutes last time, so we're not that far off now. So
yeah, I told my wife this would take 20 minutes. She's not going to be happy.
What? You did not. Stop it.
Well, she asked how long it was. I'm like, I don't know. She's like, can you try to make it like 20 minutes so we can watch Love is Blind? I'm like, sure.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Are you still a Peloton enthusiast, Billy?
No way. Is he going to join? I think Bear's going to join.
No, I dabble. I dabble on the Peloton.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you were like an actual. I mean, it says it in your bio on socials that you are a Peloton enthusiast. That still holds up.
Did I write that? Yeah,
yes.
Sure. Yeah, I ride the Peloton. I do some of the classes. I do like weight classes sometimes. I do core classes. It's convenient because I don't really have all that much time now to go to the gym, so I can just kind of put it on for like 30 minutes or whatever and work out if I get some free time.
I may have a surprise for you now. Jonathan Mayer may actually join.
I kind of want to hang up as soon as he joins.
That would be great. He's not even in his room.
There I am. Can you see
Johnny,
me?
quickly say hi to Billy before we close
What's
up.
up, Billy?
Hi, Jonathan. How are you? How is AT&T?
I'm good. How are you? Nice to see you again.
All right, that was the show, everybody. Thank you so much for your time here. That was Billy Gill. Everyone have a great night.
Oh, I thought you were actually.
I got you all, didn't I? I got y'all.
Jonathan, you're muted.
There we go.
Where are you? How was AT&T?
It was good. I got a new phone.
Are you on it?
Wow.
So you're on it right now.
I'm on it right now. It does look. Do you see the camera? There we go. It's great.
I was about to say, let's see the phone, but you're probably recording.
I'm holding it, so yeah.
So, what questions do you have for the great Billy Gill? He's been super supportive.
I thought he has questions for me.
I have questions for you?
That's what I was told.
You said you were going to talk to him about swim and dive.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you about swimming and diving and how that went. I was told you didn't jump in the pool.
I didn't jump in the pool. I was told, my coach Horner told me to jump in the pool, but I didn't because I felt like I had the need to show the moment and video, the championship. Because if I jumped in the pool, I would have been wet. I would have had to dry off and had to post stuff
Boo. Lame ass excuse.
It's called doing my job.
Coach told you to jump in the pool. You didn't. That's insubordination.
It's
right.
Oh, he got you there, Johnny.
But whatever. But he told me to document it. But if I didn't, I don't. You know what?
You should have jumped in with your phone. You knew you were going to change your iPhone.
I did.
Yeah.
And the phones are basically waterproof now, anyway.
Pretty much, man. Especially if you have a really good case.
Where even are you, Johnny?
I'm in the car.
Yeah, where are you? Where's your car?
You're not in
you're in a car. Where?
Oh, I'm at some undisclosed shopping center.
Oh, disclose it.
This is sounding sketch now, Johnny.
Send us your PIN. What if you go missing? How are we supposed to know where you are?
I mean, it's disclosed. So,
Jonathan, who do you like?
Shop across the street from FIU.
Oh, geez, what's happening, Jake?
Billy, you didn't know that?
Jonathan, who do you like better, Corey Brooks or AJ Ricketts?
I can't answer that.
Oh.
I work with them both. They're great people.
Corey's watching, so be careful.
Yeah, Corey's been watching.
Equally, they're top-notch broadcasters. They're top-notch. They both give something different to the table.
But which one gives it better?
I can't answer that question.
Oh.
I just can't. I gotta be impartial.
Hey, look, Mayor. At least you'll be happy that Billy Gill predicted FIU would go 9-3 and win the conference championship, going 10-3.
I like that. I like that right there.
And then they're going to beat Miami in the Pop-Tarts Bowl too.
Did you see my High School Musical reference yesterday on the caption?
Hell no, we didn't see that. What are you talking about?
Oh no.
So we beat the Wildcats yesterday with Bethune-Cookman. So I put the caption was Wildcats get your head in the game on Instagram. Do you like that?
Johnny,
No?
we're an hour and 20 minutes in, and you come to the show with that.
I was proud of that caption yesterday, so
You should be.
I should be. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Do you actually have a genuine question for Billy though? While we're still going,
I don't know. I mean,
Do you have a question about Genuine the singer? So I'm here for those too.
Genuine. That's a singer.
Never
That's
mind.
a singer.
all right, that's strike 2, Johnny. Strike 3,
Okay.
we got to throw you out, man.
A question for him. I mean,
What's the logo in your background, Billy?
This,
Yeah,
you know, I'm in the
No, we don't
Illuminati.
know. That's why we're asking, bro.
the G for
Oh.
Billy Gill?
Well, so there's like these fans of the show that like made this logo and like a merchandise like website and stuff, and they call themselves the Guillermo Mafia. And then this
Okay.
is the logo that they created, which is a G. But if
We lost.
Holy
Ash
crap,
Finley
Billy, you're
from
muted. Are you there? You're
Can't
still
hear you.
muted, Billy. Oh my gosh. This literally happened right before we went live, by the way. Now it's reared its ugly head again.
At least Johnny joined, so we could wrap it up.
I did. I do have a question. I think I have a statement.
Oh, you have a statement, not a question.
I do have a statement.
Well,
Yeah.
while Billy fixes his thing, what's your statement? We actually
I
have a
would
pretty
say-
good viewership too.
I would say that the Mystery Crate podcast is the hands-down best podcast so far. That's what I would say.
What?
I live for Friday mornings for the Mystery Crate. By the way, I live for Fridays.
Hey,
I don't know. Just
Holy
like
heck.
I just love random topics. I just feel like I get like an exclusive look into like everyone's personal lives.
Hang on
Wow.
a sec. Billy, say something. Is your mic working?
I'm just gonna say
I think it's working. Is it
Okay,
working?
yeah, it is. We hear you.
yeah. That's all I had to say that. I just had to say it. Just
I didn't hear
Aaron,
half of what you said, but I just heard you
I
like
said
Mystery
I love
Crate.
Mystery. I feel like Mystery Crate. I get like a little scoop into everyone's personal life. That like
Who do you like the best?
I love Billy, of course, but
Well, take me out of the equation.
take you out of the equation. I'm a big Mike Fuentes guy. I feel like he.
Oh,
I feel
God.
no.
I love Chris
that-
Cody.
Is that a bad?
I told
No,
you,
no,
Billy,
he's fine.
that when we did the Marlins softball game, the one
Yeah.
clip you guys put was when I grounded out, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't remember.
No.
What-
Oh,
Why is
Jonathan
John-
has a thumbs
It's a
up
light.
popping out of his head.
Johnny remembers. I think if you do thumbs up, it like.
There we go.
All right, Jake, let's wrap us up here.
Oh, we are? I mean, all right. Well,
Unless you have anything else, I mean.
Why do you like Mike Fuentes so much? I'll tell him.
I don't know.
He's gonna
we
love
don't
that.
know.
literally went through
Wait,
the
wait.
whole planner.
Go ahead, Johnny. Why do you like my?
What is it?
I just
What
feel
are you
like
gonna
he
share
just-
with the world?
I feel like he's somebody that he's so underrated, and I think he gives some good takes that people just overlook.
Mm,
He just-
okay.
I don't know.
Wait, who are
That's
you
just-
talking
that's just
about
me.
again?
It's
Doesn't
Love and
matter.
Touch. Yeah.
What's your
It's,
beef with
it's
Mike?
too late. It's too late now.
What's your beef
Well,
with
wait,
Mike?
who's
Billy?
better, Mike or Corey Brooks?
Okay, great question.
Ooh.
Jake gets it.
Mike,
I thought
Corey
everyone was
Brooks
gonna go
though.
crazy
I give
for that.
Corey Brooks is above Mike Fuentes.
Trust
so.
me, I've already been asked who's better, Taylor Swift or Corey Brooks. So
Yeah.
And you know what? Corey Brooks chimed in for that, and the humble man he is, he even went with Taylor Swift.
No,
There you go.
T Swift.
alrighty.
Do you have anything about the Marlins you want to ask or announce to Billy? Because he is also a big Marlins fanatic. So
I mean, the Marlins.
He said they'll win 94 games.
I do say
That,
that.
well,
yes,
there was
hang on.
there was an
I have it
asterisk.
on record. I have it on record right here.
There was more to that
mean,
prediction.
I'm a homer too. I'll say 94 wins. If that
Oh,
helps
I
you.
like that.
Help that,
no
yeah.
parentheses from Jonathan Mayer though.
I'm a huge homer.
All right.
I mean, duh, you're a homer for everything, Johnny.
Mike Fuentes thinks that you're lying, just so you know, Jonathan.
Really, he thinks that?
Yeah, he said he doesn't have to lie. I said it was unprompted. So
I'm not lying. I do favor. I think he's a great dude. I've never met
Okay.
the guy, but I'll just
he's
make
not.
that. He's not.
No, he's
Oh.
a bad person.
Like, how bad is he of a person? Like,
Well, I mean, I don't. It's not my place to say.
Alrighty,
I'm
so I clearly I have to take control here because we're getting off the rails again. We actually have not gotten off the rails since the start of this episode, and now Johnny has joined. Now things are getting weird, especially because of his lighting. He looks like some sort of mob boss there, you know.
He's in a car.
Yeah.
In an undisclosed mall for some reason. He won't tell us.
An undisclosed mall.
Shopping center.
Shopping center. I'm sorry.
All right.
Alrighty. So Billy, we usually do this with athletes and coaches who are on. What the hell is that? What?
Keep going, Jake.
Don't worry.
Anyway, we usually ask the athletes or the coaches or people like that to
my workout routine.
Do this at the end of the show. But you know, since you're here, we'll ask you as well if you have anything you'd like to say to the fans, FIU alumni, just anyone of your fan base. The floor is yours.
Oh wow, I'm the whole screen now. What if I don't have anything to say?
Do you not have anything to say?
No. Why don't you? Can people still donate to FIU Gives Day, or is that closed?
I think they still can.
Johnny,
this
is your thing, Johnny.
I think it's over, but you can still donate money to the school.
I was gonna say there's no way they're not taking money. So if you're out there and you're listening, donate to FIU athletics. That's it.
Oh, a question I forgot to ask earlier. Actually, do you actually have a FIU athletics event you plan on going to for sure in the future? Or
I was actually thinking of going to the women's basketball game on Saturday because I want to take my daughters to a game, but she has a school function, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. So there's a maybe on that one.
FIU versus FAU that day too. Baseball.
I wanted to go to a basketball game.
That's fair. I mean, unfortunately,
women's basketball may be a March Madness team. So,
yeah, I feel like they would really enjoy a college basketball game. I feel like they like the music and the basketball's fun. Not that baseball isn't, but there's time for baseball. We'll get to baseball season.
Yeah.
Even though Johnny, I don't know if you know this. I'm going to call you Johnny. Even though Johnny, I don't know if you know this. 8-5, 14 strikeouts yesterday. Did you know that?
I know. It was dazzling. Did you read my recap? You read my recap, I think, right?
Yeah, the Cougs didn't have their head in the game. The Wildcats. Wildcats didn't have their head in the game.
They did not.
No.
Anyway, alrighty.
Kevin, can we wrap this up?
We'll wrap it up here.
An hour and 27 minutes.
Yep. All right.
It's only an hour longer than I told my wife I was going to do it for.
Alrighty, Billy. As always, thank you so much for hopping on. We'll definitely get you on soon, where we will make history that time, having the same guest 3 times. But as always, from Jake, Johnny, Billy, and myself, we will see you guys all probably next week. Johnny and I will be out in Boca covering those 2 games as FIU tries to take down FAU, the best opponent they'll take on. As always, peace out and paws up, baby.
Paws